consent agenda, which includes the approval of the agenda and approval of the November 21st meeting minutes. There you go. Is there a motion to approve?
I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
Paul is second.
Allison, all right, beautiful. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. The chair ayes have it, motion carries. We move back down to public comments. Was there any written communication from the public? No. All right. We'll move down into division head reports.
You can send it.
No, we're going to get it.
You know, you are lonesome back there. She's a team player. I love her.
Carol was unable to make it to it since we switched the date.
Yeah.
So she couldn't make it today.
All right, so Alyssa and I are going to do this in tandem or together because we talked to Jan Matthew from the Decatur Magazine on Friday of last week.
Oh, God, no, it was like Wednesday?
Wednesday last week, about all the things that are going on for 150th, and then
All of the renovations that you guys have already seen happening. And at the time, Alex Frazier, the collections librarian with us, she's also the co-chair of the 150th committee. And
so we had a very lovely conversation with her, and she'll be writing an article about this.
Yay.
Hey.
Somebody that enters the chat.
Sorry. My kid's plane was late.
It's snow outside. You drive a Mini Cooper. You have more reason to take it.
My car's all-wheel drive.
Mini Coopers are usually pretty good.
It's great. I love your car. I got that.
That's good.
Greg, did you just blank?
I think we're going to look down there. I'll show you again.
Did you blank? Do you just blank out? Are you good?
No, I some good car.
You know, not today.
We don't have a backup for her.
She can have what I'm using.
Okay.
I can share.
Oh, you can't.
Oh, I was going to sit
I
right here.
literally, go ahead.
My ones.
I can pull mine up on my tablet. Oh, I was going to say, I'll bring it.
Sorry, this is
Yes, please take them away from me. Keep them over there. So I stop them.
I'm just sending it.
I was happy to share this side.
Oh, yeah.
That's my computer now. Oh, I could have skipped down too.
No, he wants to share.
Oh.
We've known each other a long time.
Teamwork.
Exactly.
So anyway, sorry guys.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So in, I think January is when this article was published. So you will see it as a nice kind of beginning of the new year for our 150th. And then you also mentioned something about what we're going to do with I think you mentioned the grand reopening, stuff like that.
Right, we're looking, as soon as we get the service desks that have been backdated, that we're supposed to get sometime in January, and the reference computer desk is going to show our new tagline. We're kind of looking towards about the time those are finally installed and assembled and everything's here. We're going to have a grand reopening, and Katie Etchinson, who is our programming librarian, and I are working on a grand reopening. We don't have a date for that yet, but sometime next week we're going to meet and start talking about what we need to make that happen. That renovation.
And there's two others. What else did we talk about?
Oh, we talked about
There's a
the
lot of
programs
stuff.
from January all the way through December.
History of the library. She wanted to know all kinds of information. I've sent her an entire list of milestones that we've hit since 1875. Actually, Jason's going to send me another list. That's a whole thing. To send to her that would be part of this. And it mentioned everybody. The article will mention everybody that's part of the committee and those who have worked with the committee as an outside, or as a silent partner or a side partner or whatever you want to call it, on subcommittees or just because.
And so like about a month or so ago, Rick said it's time for it to move beyond the committee and all hands on deck and everybody should be a part of this.
Right.
So it started with, I'm head of programs, resources, and services, and I have a lot of the librarians that can do a lot of the work, including the adult, the teen, and the children's programming librarians. So it started with a meeting between Becky and Alex and myself. Just let's look at what we've got.
Right.
Let's see what assets you guys
How we
want to
break it down.
keep, and what can we take off of your hands so the work is lighter.
Right.
And then our next step was to convene Katie and Alexis, teen librarian, and Amanda, children's librarian, and just say, okay, this is what you're gonna get, you're the point person on this, you're the point person on this. How many people do we need to make this happen and make it happen well? So we have one more meeting to go.
We have a meeting we're gonna have with a couple other librarians and librarian assistants who are going to help out. That's currently still sitting as a doodle poll.
Yeah.
But we have to figure out when we're gonna meet, because there's so many,
We're busy.
there's a lot of people. I've already told the committee that we're breaking this out, and there's some point people that we got told today.
Awesome.
So everybody's on board, and the committee will start putting together the 150th party in August as we're going to start as a subcommittee. That was Carol. Sam's,
It's fine, I called Amanda today, so.
Ms. Carol. Let me say it. That's Sam's idea to start a subcommittee on that, so that will be starting soon.
And so we've compiled, Alex has put together a spreadsheet of each month, what the program is, who the point person is, how many staff people we need. If there's specific staff people who are already involved, they're added. And then we're gonna open that up, probably in the staff room on the big whiteboard, just great big, and just, if there's something that you wanna be a part of, sign up for it.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited because it's really gonna be that opportunity to say, this is everybody.
Yeah,
And there's a place for you and we need you.
It gives everybody a chance, yeah. So we're really excited about this. It's a lot of work that went into this, and I think the staff members should be really proud.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So,
Do we have a list of all the activities for the 150th yet?
yes.
Where is that?
Alex has one.
I'm happy to have that. I can send it to Rick, and Rick can send it off to you guys, if you don't mind. And that way, you can see what's coming up. We finalized a lot of dates, finally, so pretty much all the dates that are on there that is the official dates.
Similar question. We've been talking about this for a very long time, so forget about me.
2 years.
Right? But wasn't there like a timeline, a part of it, like the library's timeline, like from 1875
So,
to now?
we actually just talked about this in the committee today, and time is there, you brought it up. The possibility of doing a timeline in the booklet at the beginning so people can kind of get an idea, but also doing the website version of the booklet will be a timeline that you can click on and it'll make it interactive. So we're thinking about maybe doing something like that. Yeah. So, yeah, and of course the booklet is becoming a book and it's getting way too big and
It's not a let anymore, it's a book.
I don't know.
Oh, the book
I got
slash
told today
lit.
that what has been written is too dry, so. That is what she was like,
She was like,
this is too dry.
this is really dry. And
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I hope everybody is interested.
Well, and I haven't read it yet, so it is on my list. I had,
Yeah.
other
should
Sam
put
is
it
one of our
to-
proof readers, so
Put it to Times creative writing class and have them jazz it up.
It was funny.
that's a possibility.
yeah,
I need to talk to you sometime.
Is it good or bad?
It's good.
Okay, good.
But
I knew it would be.
he needs to talk to you because he wants to do something, and
Okay.
he needs to come talk to you first. But yeah, anything else to add?
No?
You guys sound busy.
That's funny.
I am very tired, very tired. I can't wait until 2026.
Yeah. And you guys have to remember
She has worked hard
that
on this since
Yeah,
23, so.
2 years.
I-
August of 22 is when we started.
22?
Sorry.
I want everybody to remember that, yes, next year is gonna be the 150th, but the library will still be doing all of the things we do every other year. So expect the same book discussion groups, the same crafty things, the same school kids
All the
yoga,
same
Why are they talking
art,
about the hair policy?
all the
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And it will still be going on.
We've got some big things in store, including the grand reopening, so
we do.
we are gonna be busy. All right.
Oh, that's good. All right.
That was beautiful, ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to give props, because I tell you, after we were done, the person who came to interview us, she said, you three ladies obviously love your job,
We do.
and you obviously work very hard, and I know I needed to hear that.
Me too.
But I think all three of us felt specifically like, we got this,
You two with Carol, it's awesome.
we got this.
I'm not going to do the back-to-back, but I'll do this. That requires movement, and I need to go upstairs to go to sleep.
All right. I am too, and that's why I'm extra hyper.
Laura, were you gonna say something slightly?
She answered my question. I was like, who's the third amigo was in this situation, but it's Alex, which makes perfect
Yes.
sense, because she's there.
And then it's the grant, our grant committee, we have a really good committee of people, and they brought a lot to the table, so, and then all the extra people that have just stepped in, Alyssa and Jason and Ty has brought in some ideas. Katie, now Alexis, and Casey was at the meeting today too, and they've really just, it's finally now, it's really becoming the big, this is it, this is the big thing, yeah. So I'm out, you guys have fun.
Thank you.
Thanks all, pro. Okay.
Yeah. So, for those that may not have been here, we do have our 9th board member here, and I apologize, we didn't make a point of doing so. Some of our finance committee members are maybe not familiar, so.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. The other committee met you.
I was not saying that, I'm like, like new person.
So every single time, we usually go fully around the table, so we're not gonna let anyone escape it.
Oh, we don't have our name badges?
Oh
Oh my gosh,
I do that yours.
Mine's in my car. I know, that's it.
This is a while ago, okay?
I was like, I'm gonna make sure, I was having heart.
So sad.
Mr. Allison, you got that A name, so I'm sure you're very formalized,
Yeah.
going first, so you'd like to start us off.
Yeah,
Well,
Blake
I should be
Allison,
going last.
I've been on board maybe 3 or 4 months. I don't know. I work in insurance from Decatur.
Wait, are you the one with the billboard?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes!
Are you a billboard? In Lake A6?
I do.
Yeah.
I didn't know why though. I thought it was like.
It's a billboard, it's above Tech Tech on Franklin Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so,
But I don't know, I haven't looked at it.
but,
Take a look at it.
I'm going.
yeah.
Well, when I looked at it, it's like that very small page, so then I was like, is he trying to find a woman?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find, I don't know. You never know. That's part of it. It's not.
All of the above.
It's not,
Okay, because I was like, if I call the number, what will pop up?
it's my buddy in town, Cole's phone number, who
So
looks.
was it like a joke thing?
He does look like you.
Yeah, me and him are great friends, our moms are best friends,
I
so.
went to high school with him and I literally thought when I first started, he was like, cool.
Yeah, so he's gotten like 20 or so text messages saying Merry Christmas. It has made my entire month.
It's on Franklin,
It's-
above Bechtold.
It's above Tech Tech.
Like,
He's also
when you're
got
driving from South Shores to like downtown, that,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's also got a tree on T, and
Trees on
a
Ts.
card, and a Christmas card out here, and a Christmas card. down
So
there.
last on my way here.
Blake is
The one that has a cardboard cutout of myself with the fireball shots.
It was too cold.
really looking for a lady.
It's
Because
just,
I looked at his and I was like, I want to see what he's selling. And I was like, oh wait, it's himself.
it's just, that's, no,
I did not want to tell all my friends about this conversation.
no, I just sell myself.
Hey, you could just show him the video. We have it on this. Blake and Trip. It's memorable.
Oh, exactly.
I just don't know what I was remembering.
That is amazing.
I can't believe you would compete with the library's tree at.
I took a picture with the library tree.
It is a good one.
It's on a billboard next year, yes?
Anyway, top that.
And we had that all on tape. Okay, that's it, that's all I need to know. The rest of us are boring.
Okay, yeah, I'm Emily West. I've been on the board for over a year now. I don't really know. Yeah, somewhere around there. And I work at ATM.
Ashley, we have met through Books and Brews before, but I'm also fairly new to the board, so some of us are still learning, so don't feel bad if you're like,
I'm still learning.
Okay, so I don't have to print these out because I did a double copy.
oh yeah, no, you don't have to. Paula brings her own. too,
Yeah,
so you're not the only one.
Yeah, because I always kind of read it before. Paula Cross, I'm new to the board, started in October, so I'm still learning too, so.
I'm Samantha Carroll. I am not new. I am new and not new. So I had a 2-year hiatus. So I was on the board for 6 years, 2 years off, and then I've been on the 150th. On the foundation. I've always been on the foundation the whole time, so you never meet.
You were on the Friends.
And then I was on the that's how we met, so, yeah, I've been around here for a long time,
Super
since
patron.
2013.
Super patron.
Yeah, and a super patron, yeah. Almost at $70,000 for my dollars saved.
Yeah, and the only person I know that has that calculated. That's
Well,
No, they calculate it for you.
yeah, they
Oh,
check,
okay.
yeah, it's on your receipt of your checkout slip. You should go check out a book.
Oh, wow.
I just paid for the fact that I didn't, you know.
What about for
back in
Hoopla?
the day, so.
See, this is the problem.
I don't think
with
it
the
does.
things on
It
that.
doesn't.
Oh my gosh, I can believe how much money I've saved on Hoopla.
Yeah, Hoopla is
I
my
know.
jam. I don't
Me
need
too, I love
physical
Hoopla.
books.
Okay.
But I will send
I
you
know,
the report.
I forgot, I was like, yep.
Community is-
No problem.
Yeah, so I've got a nice little list of books.
I do a lot.
For the sake of time, we'll be going, Carl Coleman, been on the board since October 2020. So
That sounds right.
it's longer than I would have thought
Yeah,
when I say that out
yeah.
loud, so.
And I was the board president during COVID, so that was fun.
Yes, my first meeting was from my office at my job because we couldn't meet in person, so yes, I remember that quite vividly, so.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm Sophia Spallison, I've been on board for 5.5 years, I think, so I've been 6 in June. And my kids and I, when we were little, lived here, and when they were little, not me. I mean, we used to take out like 60 to 70 books a week during the summer, and they used to be open on Sundays. My friends and I would be here until they kicked us out on Sunday. So I have a big soft spot for the children's library. I love the adult library too, but I admit I'm lazy enough that I actually order my books and then go pick them up instead of going to the stash.
Depends on the day. I don't have any children.
Shiloh Karsten, I've been on since October, so maybe as well.
Please do introduce yourself.
Kaylee Ledbetter.
Two fun facts.
I teach. I work for DPS. I'm the curriculum coordinator for social studies. I come here a lot. I get a lot of books to share to students in the classroom and to tell teachers of the resource of the library. So,
Yay.
And she's in the books and brews.
and I'm in books and brews, and I've bought stuff from friends because DVDs for $1, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah.
I go down and see Tony every time after a board meeting.
I usually go before, but I didn't have any time, so.
It is one of DPL's book clubs. We meet once a month on a Tuesday at Peter Brookworks. All genres are welcome. We vote on what we're going to read 6 months at a time. Alice Frazier is our librarian who's in charge of us.
What's this month's,
I haven't started it yet, even though book club is next
It's
Tuesday.
on the wait list.
Yeah,
I do
my
all the
books.
books.
I'm also on the wait list for my book.
Sorry, guys.
I want to say it's after the wood, Hell.
oh, Into the Woods or whatever?
Yes.
Yes.
No, not Into the Woods.
Not Into the Woods.
It's like
God of the Woods?
Out of the Woods? It's a preposition of the
I'm
woods.
pulling up the DPL
I was
website.
gonna say there's God of the Woods on the board.
After the Forest by Kel Woods.
Okay,
Oh,
so
okay, okay.
there's a lot of stuff
I didn't read
happening.
that. There's a, the other one I saw you were reading.
Preposition. Preposition.
I'll get there, it's fine. We'll do audiobook at
What is it, Out of the
1.53
Forest?
speed.
We are gonna keep things moving along. Rick, lay it on us.
I have no formal report for November, should have read, because we changed the date, so my reports are still trickling in from the departments. But I can tell you that in the last 2 weeks of December, we've been very busy. And, this has been and we'll talk a little bit more about it as we go. And the Finance Committee yesterday suggested maybe afterwards, if people are interested and there's time, we take a little walk around and see what we've got, what's been
I
installed.
would like that.
And I'll get you the November report in January along with the December report. But as of next week, my regular job should restart. So at least for a couple weeks.
Fantastic. We will move down into reports of committees. First is PPRs. President Carroll.
Yeah, so we had a really actually awesome meeting. Like everybody came prepared and we spent the whole time basically talking about the meeting room policy, which we'll get to. But we basically approved four of these policies. So can I make a motion to recommend all four of them? Or do we need to do all of them individually? The first four that were no changes.
I don't know if the Open Meetings Act says anything specifically about that. There's not a precedent for it, but it doesn't mean it's against the law or
Okay.
anything.
Well, we would like to recommend, can we make the motion?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to make the motion to, so I'm just gonna recommend each one of them. And then hopefully somebody on the, so we made no.
mention them out loud.
Yeah,
we'll-
so
we'll
this is the
still vote on
asset,
it.
this is for the first one is the asset disposition policy, we made no changes. This is basically the policy to dispose of like assets within the library. Usually we try to donate them. The Friends get our printed material, like our books, and they get first pick pretty much. And then kind of how we dispose of property as it gets it higher in value. So, I will make a motion to recommend this, or to not recommend.
So first, is there a second?
Schuyler, second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. In the chair, ayes have, motion carries.
So in the serving our public, we decided to, the next ones are the library bill of rights. We decided to take this word for word, and adopt a policy. So I would like to make a motion to accept the American Library Association Library Bill of Rights for the library.
Paul moves to approve.
There's a first and second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. In the chair, ayes have, motion carries.
The next one is the American Library Association Code of Ethics. We thought this was very well done and professional, and we moved to accept this policy.
Motion, is there a second?
Ashley will second.
Beautiful, any discussion? Seeing none, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. In the chair, ayes have, motion carries.
The next one is the Public Library Trustee Ethics Statement. So this one actually does affect you, so hopefully you have read it. I felt like, we all felt like this should be something that we reflect. So we would like to make a motion to accept the Public Library Trustee Ethics Statement for the trustees.
First, is there a second?
Paul moves to approve.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Can you sign?
In the chair, ayes have, motion carries.
Next thing is the city librarian evaluation. We just talked about it, so you guys probably will see something, you said something today or yesterday about it. So we will be working on that probably next month to, that's part of our job as the board of trustees is to evaluate the city librarian. And I know most of us are new, so I don't know how, or not most of us, but so it's a little bit harder to do. So we're just going to try to make it as easy as possible and to be as valuable as possible as
Do you
well.
think a subcommittee for this is pretty, like 3 people?
That is the open meeting, so it would have,
Yes.
usually it's 2 people.
Yeah, it was me.
So, yeah. So we can talk about that. So that is upcoming. And then that was just discussion. The last thing that we spent the majority of our time on was the meeting room policy. So what you have in front of us is yeah. So that is not that's not the one. The one in your packet is the one. So just be aware of that. So this is pretty changed from what we had before. to make it a little bit more clear. So I know that you just got this because we finished it 2 days ago, so late on Tuesday, I think. So, does anyone have any thoughts about this? Because before I make the motion, like, this is the first time, I think.
May I point out a change that we made since the
Yes.
discussion,
Yes.
since the committee met? This is a recommended change.
Oh, yes.
That, I don't remember where it landed. But it's about,
Oh, the cancellations?
no-shows, so
Yeah, the
no-shows that, what we're gonna say is after one no-show, you're done for the year, you're not allowed to reserve any more rooms for the year. And what I said I'd like you guys to consider is that, rather than that, you pay the full for-profit fee. If you no-show, you're paid the full for-profit fee. And if
I
you don't,
like that, I thought that.
I like that.
it's,
Because it's like
very
less
questionable.
harsh,
Yeah.
like than, making her tell the people.
so if you, especially if you're talking about a large organization and maybe one employee makes it, and then no-shows, to say the whole organization is out of the running for the rest of the year. No, but we are going to charge you because it's, you didn't show up, so we are going to charge you.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
That's reasonable.
I'm not sure where it landed, but it is
It's
in
right
there.
here. It's in the.
It's on the second page, second paragraph down after meeting room expense.
And I would like to, one thing I forgot to, I'm sorry, when we went back and forth on this, I forgot about was, I think we should have language something like this in the, I think, fourth paragraph on the first page. Not-for-profit community, governmental organizations, et cetera. That this will go into effect for room reservations made after January 1, 2025. There was some discussion, there was some question by the committee at how many room reservations for 2025 have been made as of yet. Around 500.
What?
Oh, wow.
Around 500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wowza.
About 100 last week, so it's probably over 500 now.
I'm impressed.
I have a couple questions on this.
Yeah.
One,
No.
one, the meeting room application, is that what has always been used? I'm not
Yes.
familiar with it.
Yes.
Okay, great. And two, for like the no-show thing, who's going to monitor if there are no-shows or not?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and that's a good question. Our
It's like if you have a meeting at like 4:30 or something.
our maintenance team is, since they set the rooms up most of the time, but if they're not now, they are the ones, they let us know right away.
Okay.
As somebody doesn't show. But we're gonna have to make that a little bit more formal. We're gonna have to figure out
Yeah.
just a kind of walk through and make sure that people are where they're supposed to be.
So, yeah, so we added the first paragraph, or like the first and second lines from the police policy, to just kind of set the expectations of like, the library wants people to use the spaces, the meeting spaces, and then it's, like, the library spaces does not constitute library endorsement of viewpoints, so just adding a little bit more text. The not-for-profit, we added the not-for-profit community and government organizations with offices in Macon County will not be charged a fee for the first 3 hours of the reservation. That was different. Before it,
Well, there was just no
it
charge.
just didn't,
Yeah.
yeah. So now there will be a charge. And then the next one is any business or not-for-profit with organization or with offices outside of Macon County, will be charged based on the fee schedule.
That's still really reasonable rates.
Yeah, so
It
that's-
really is.
Yeah, so that's what we've had that discussion, is that it is a really reasonable, and they should be able to cover that. Some other, that was included. We talked about the library and affiliates have priority to use the meeting spaces. We have never, that was not in there before, but we wanted to add it just in case. Because I know space is at a premium, so if the library does need to use that space, they can cancel that.
And we have moved people.
Yeah, time setting up the rooms. So we are now letting them set up the table, set up the tables and chairs, and they can ask for a fee of $25 for the library to set up the room. So there was some clarification of what does setup include, and so we added some language about that, and then the library's the fee for that. We clarified the application process a little bit. It was Michelle okay with that? I mean, she didn't.
When I walked past her this afternoon, she said, thank you for your efforts.
Okay, good.
We found some software that is reasonably priced that her and Betty Jo both think will help them a lot.
That'd be awesome.
We will probably be adopting that or purchasing that for 2025.
Okay. And then a lot of these expectations we actually took from 42. So, and then I kind of cleaned it up to make it a little bit more clear. So hopefully this looks good. I don't think there was anything else that was. We added a $50 cleaning fee because that was not specifically called out. And we added it to the fee schedule as well. And then we added some information about we added the liability clause at the end, just to make sure that we, at least try to be not liable for that. And then the last one was when issuing posters, press releases, or other publicity, groups should make it clear that programs are not sponsored, co-sponsored, or approved by the library. So we're trying to make that clear, that unless it's specifically, that should, it is, on the first page, is the organizations will not be charged a fee for events planned and or promoted in conjunction with DPL. So this is clarifying, if it's not in conjunction, then it needs to be clear.
I think that's probably hard to enforce, but at least it gets them to not use our logo and things like that. They've been doing. I mean, I think it's hard to monitor everybody's promotion, but as long as they know that's what we're asking you to do,
Well,
and
at
if it comes to our
least
attention.
if we do catch one that
Right.
is, at least we have
Exactly.
something to refer back to that
Exactly.
says, well, we did have that.
That's right.
That was part of the application process and our rules.
And failure to abide by the following policies may jeopardize future meeting. So,
I have two questions on the fee schedule. So it says room rentals are in 4-hour increments only with a minimum of 4 hours, but that doesn't apply for the no charge one, right?
So it was more clear when we had only one way of doing it, and what it means is, if you're renting the Madden, you're a
Right.
for-profit, you're renting, you only want an hour, it's okay.
Right.
We're going to charge you for
Could we
4 hours.
move that
anyway.
down?
Absolutely.
yeah,
To
I would-
That makes
below
sense.
that way
That
that's
makes
it's
where
clear that it's for this.
Yeah, that
Table.
makes sense.
And then
I
the
think
only
it
other
was- I think
thing
it was there before.
is for the second fee schedule, it says, or government organization with offices outside of Macon County. I think it should say within Macon County of the one above. Nonprofit or community-based group
Yeah.
within Macon
Yeah.
County.
That's,
I agree with
yeah,
that.
good
Yes.
point. I think I had it in there and then I might have taken it out, so.
Yep, we'll get that changed.
Because I was gonna say, because I had on the not-for-profit, on the first page, I wasn't sure if we wanted to move that to the fee schedule to explain it a little bit more, or if we just leave it within the usage.
I like it right here.
Okay.
I just think some people aren't gonna read this in
Okay.
entirety, they're just gonna look at the fee schedule. So then when they see that, they'll be like, oh, wait.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
thought.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. So that is the meeting room policy. So with the changes that we discussed, I would like to make a motion to accept this policy,
Emily will second it.
amend it, re-amending it.
Yes, like let's go amend,
Yeah, I'll
Second.
approve that too.
yes, to reflect
That's a good policy.
Rick and staff's recommendation and also Shiloh's as well. So that documents, we need to add the language in that fourth paragraph in the first page. So
Yep.
it's a lot of work for Michelle to press what that means, but that's what that
This software will help her.
Yeah, and she approved this too, or she reviewed it too.
Absolutely. So with that being said, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, that means it's been amended, but we still now can vote on the actual amended piece of policy. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Sorry, it passes. There we go.
Good job. Yay.
No one's gonna come sue us.
I think you cleaned it up really well.
Thank you. That was a
I mean,
It's
the
a lot of
biggest
moving
one.
parts.
For
There's
as
a lot
much
of moving
stuff
parts.
as we had to go through to only have those two little things that we need to
Yeah.
do, yeah.
It's my little baby right here.
Yes, good job. I'm giving you a back. I don't like that. All right, we'll move down now to the Finance and Property Committee.
Well, the I actually
See, I
related to that
lost
meeting
you.
too. So, the capital needs, I was not available.
Yeah, basically, it's, you know, the roof's done, we think. The porta potty's done.
Yeah, I
We're
know.
not
So
done.
that's
Is the porta potty the collapsed structure that's on
Yeah,
the
what is
roof
on the
right
roof
now?
still?
That's the
Yeah,
roof, that's
I
the
gotta
roof.
figure that out. I gotta
was
talk to Dalton.
looking at that as I was walking, I'm like, did the porta potty
It looks like some
collapse?
foam or something, you know, the porta potty is down over by our dumpster, which I'm sure, you know, some of the in-house folks around here appreciate.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
a
a landmark.
Yes, it really was, it was becoming a landmark.
Makes it easier for them to have it at the dumpster.
So, and, you know, what else did we talk about, for capital needs last night?
That's about it.
The chiller, I mean.
Yeah, the chiller's gonna be taken out, the old chiller's gonna be taken out,
That's what I
through that hole in the wall.
Yeah.
We don't know
I was like, what is
exactly
that?
when yet, but that's gonna happen.
Through a hole in the wall.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Where
the
it used to be
roof
louvers,
crane
there used to be
thing.
louvers on this level.
You can see it outside.
Facing the parking lot,
I know.
those louvers are gone, and there's just a hole there now.
Yep. It was weird.
So they took them out and left the hole in this cold
Yeah, I
weather.
think there's plastic there, you know, but,
Why would they? I don't know.
so they can take it out, and then they'll put the louvers back in. But I don't know when that's gonna happen.
And then as far as the furniture project is concerned,
You're seeing some of those.
it's awesome.
Yeah, so it's been a busy couple weeks, you know, busy in like crazy busy, but in a good way. You know, we are going through some of the, you know, some punch list items. There's some things that are back ordered, sectionals. And I think we talked before about the service desks, were pushed back to late January, early February, but also the kind of market play area for the kids, that's gonna come late January, early February also.
I got a thumbs up on the light break yesterday from my neighbor.
Very good. And I'm happy, it was mentioned last night, committee meeting, that we should walk around after the meeting, whoever's interested, and I'm happy to lead that tour for those who are interested after the meeting.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
It's looking good in here.
it really is.
I'm even
I mean,
liking those little chairs with the little tables next to them right there.
These are much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Well, you know, the only thing I don't like about it is that you can't fight over who gets a good chair.
Yes.
It's
And
like
I always
camaraderie,
think, I mean,
you know?
see, that there's no motivation to get to the meeting on time.
That's right.
We can start leaving Hershey Kisses in one of the chairs, and it's,
I would
whoever gets in there
recommend,
first, you get
I
an
would
extra
recommend getting to the meeting early to, you know, to hear Blake's stories.
Oh, there's more?
There's.
I do, I think.
We gotta get them in the books and grooves.
Oh,
Tell us stories.
So, the next thing is the check registry, and I forget what it is that I asked about. So now I've got a new thing to ask about every month.
You asked about NIAX.
Oh,
NIAX is our, that's our credit card servicing essentially, so.
I had
It's our
unique
monthly fee.
management services,
Yeah, I asked
which
about
you
unique
asked about,
as
but
well.
I asked about it for
That
about
sounds neat.
2 years, every meeting.
And
Forgetting what it was.
Unique Management Services is our collection agency.
I know, but
We
now
get
I've
back
got
about-
NIAC to ask about.
Yeah.
We get back about $4 for every dollar we spend on them.
Anyway, we reviewed it, it's pretty standard. Our committee would like to recommend that we accept the check registry. Anyone want a second?
I'll second. Emily can second.
There's a first and a second, any discussion? See none, all in favor, signify, well, wait, this is
Wait,
check,
we
right
go
here, yes.
through.
Voice vote. Mr. Allison? Aye. Ms. Vest?
Aye.
Ms. Vest?
Aye.
Ms. Cross?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
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 Combine your first and last name, I'm sorry.
Skip with both, y'all.
It is, we don't vote.
Okay, cool. Aye. I'm like, no, no. Who was that? Jason Huston.
Yeah.
We actually think that. All right.
So, I passed. I passed. Okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I was just like, please continue.
Well, next is, we passed on the way.
Budget actuals for, year thus far. At the end of November, 92% of the year has passed. We've collected 89% of our revenue, more about that later. And everything else is basically where it needs to be. Spending wise, we're doing a good job. Cash position, in our operating fund, $2,081,000 and change. In our capital fund, it is $389,000 and change. In our Cantoni fund, Cantoni is a trust fund for books only. There is $7,000 and change left in that one. The Meyer Fund, no relation. That is for local history, trust fund for local history only. That's sitting at $33,900. Memorials and donations at $6,800 for a total cash position as of December 1 of $2,518,659.55.
Possible to put a, like, just a tiny description of like Cantoni books or local history,
Sure.
so you don't have to say it every.
Yep.
This is welcome,
I know, I mean,
Yes.
like, I know what it means, like,
Yep.
And I write it in every time.
yeah,
So
so.
just remind myself.
That's an idea.
So those are the budget actuals. Happy to answer any questions on the actuals. If not, I'll move on to the projections.
Please do.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, expense-wise, we're doing great. We're coming in under budget. We're doing what we can do. Problem is in revenue, and I want to talk well. We've talked in here a lot in the past several months, but some of you are pretty new, that personal property replacement tax is coming in way under budget, $192,000 and change under budget. That is a state corporate tax that we get, and it's really, really killing us. However, so are property taxes, real estate taxes this year. We're highly unlikely to get another disbursement in December. This is very likely our last disbursement, leaving us roughly $100,000 under budget there too. And I want to talk about why.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I'm going to pass this
Oh, I got
around.
papers today.
Yes. I'm going to pass on this way.
We have visuals.
Definitely the copy.
That way.
Okay,
So I looked at the packet for city council. I think she wants the Hershey's.
I was trying to
Oh,
silently
thank you.
ask for them, but she wasn't giving them. Sorry.
I looked at
I didn't even notice they were.
I looked at last
right at the
week's
table, huh?
packet for city council, and let me refer you to page 2. The second table on page 2. So the 2024 tax levy for the library, you see that $3,222,530? That's what we budgeted. Okay? But look at last year's tax levy. So the 2024 tax levy is for fiscal year 2025. The 2023 tax levy is for fiscal year 2024, the one we're finishing up. The city levied $3,072,569.70, even though the budget
And they
it was
approved our
approved by
budget.
them and is on all my budget documents from the city, says $3,122,000. So I'm going to pass this around too. This is an email exchange that I had with the CFO. So I asked the question, since we know we're not gonna collect everything that we levy for, why wouldn't it, it's in its email, so it's from the bottom up, I apologize. Why wouldn't we, seems like you levy for more than what is budgeted, since you know you're not gonna collect every dime that you levy for. And the response was, for some reason, the budget and the levy in the library has been wrong. We should have been in an exact amount, not increased, but I really don't understand that second, or the third sentence in her response, but essentially they said they made a mistake. So, and assured me that it will be right this year, and it does look like it will be right, but that is a $100,000 mistake that we have to absorb. So I just want to make you guys aware of that. You guys did what you were supposed to do. We did what we were supposed to do, and we're not going to get the money we levied for. Therefore, I am not overly concerned with the, I'm sorry, that didn't print right again. That surplus, that first surplus is what was the budgeted surplus.
Yeah.
It's the same every month, and I'll get that number to you in just a second. But but for the middle column on the second page of this, can you point to that? Yeah. Yes, that is the shortfall we're going to have. Not because we overspent, because we didn't get the money that we, and again, a budget is a snapshot in time. It's not, I mean, we have money in the bank, as you just saw. It's not going to kill us, but it's not because we, the board or library administration did anything. It's not like we,
Frustrating.
Yeah.
This is the
Like,
first
it's not,
second year in a row that this has happened.
like, who is
Under
in
two
charge?
different CFOs.
Like, that's, and now it's our fault.
And
Like,
results in
now
us
it's,
still-
yeah.
Well, they
like-
didn't say it was our
I
fault,
mean,
but
that's what I mean,
we
like,
have to,
yeah.
but there's no remedy.
Yeah,
They're the brother.
like,
There's no remedy for it. It's just, we're gonna do better going forward.
And ask for it to increase.
So I just,
I am.
I wanted to make you guys aware, and you know, the PPRT, so if you can go back up there to the PPRT. The PPRT is, that's a state fund. We don't have any control over that. I can tell you that the city budget officer, can you make it a little bit larger, please? The city budget officer and I both, with the information we had, we both estimated independently that $740,000. I mean, independent of each other, we came up with a roughly the same number. And sometimes you miss on that one. That's the state cut it severely this year. So that happens, but
95,000 is what does it usually?
that's frustrating. I just want to make you guys aware of it. I believe we will end the year in the red for the first time since like 2012 or 2013. So,
What is the surplus, what is the?
let me find it right. So that's the budgeted surplus. That's what we intended to do, is $102,002.
And we already have the amount for 2025, right?
Correct, and if you look at that document I gave you with that table on the second page, they are levying that amount this year. It looks like they are going to levy this is what's budgeted,
322.
yes, and
Okay.
they are levying
And we have
that amount.
double checked that amount, that it's not,
That's part of what
A
that
mistake.
email is, that's part of what that email is supposed to, that is the budgeted number.
okay.
It's the budgeted number, and it looks like that's what they're going to levy.
Keep in mind, next year we will collect not all of that money.
Right, so that doesn't make sense to me either. Why approve a budget number that you know is not real? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm gonna continue to have that discussion with the city. Why aren't we levying for, what do they do in the park district, do you know?
I have no clue.
Okay.
Yeah, not in, I was just on their,
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you served on the board.
yeah.
My mistake. But I talked to district, colleagues who are district libraries, and district libraries do the levy themselves. And the practice is you budget and you add a 0.5 percentage point or 1 percentage point to that, and that's what you levy for. You levy for slightly more than you have budgeted for, so that you're likely to get what your budget says. Because a budget's a plan, and if you're planning for the wrong amount, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's something I want to make you guys aware of. I'm going to continue to have these discussions about why aren't we levying for more? And I will let you know how those go. Happy to answer any questions.
I have one when we leave, so okay, I figured to do that. That was the budget projection discussion, correct?
Yes.
Yes. One more action item.
And the other action item is we want to transfer $275,000 of our funds to the capital reserve fund. And
This is for the purpose of yeah.
for furniture.
Furniture.
Is there a resolution in your packet?
Yes.
Yes.
I can't find mine.
Right
Because
here.
I'll need a signature on that.
No, Billy's
Are
pen.
you
Mine
gonna
is
sign
signed.
this one?
Sign. Anyway, I want to make a motion
Pen ready.
that we make a resolution to transfer $275,000.
I was late till second.
Samantha, oh, yes.
And then it's financial, so we have to.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Allison?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Sorry.
Aye.
Thank you. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Okay, and now the next thing we need to do is I am going to make a motion that we go.
We spoke. Don't think we legally need to do that.
Go into
Well,
closed session?
you never have to do it, but at this point, it seemed like both committees seem to be
So on the same page?
favorable to this, so
So we don't.
you
need go
have
into
to
closed
vote in
session?
open session, so there's no, unless you guys really want to go into closed
No, I don't
session,
have
I
any
don't
to.
think there's any.
Okay, so let's go on
Real good
to
reason
employee
to.
compensation. Rick, do you?
We discussed with both committees, I
We
think
discussed it.
everybody's
It
familiar
says
with
it
it.
may be held, so it didn't
So,
have to be.
so I do want to, our attorney drew up letters and a memorandum of understanding. So this is for the union part of this.
So basically, we're asking the union to add another year to their contract for a 4.4% raise for cost of living this year. And we will be giving that raise across the board to everybody in the library. Okay?
You got some more?
Now, the union will vote, assuming you guys approve this, the union will vote on it on the 17th.
Okay.
Of December. As long as we have everything, and the city manager has already expressed in writing his support for this, he has to sign off on the memorandum of understanding because city is co-employer of the union staff. Don't ask why. But he has already expressed his support for this plan.
When will this go into effect? Next year?
January.
Next year.
January.
Does anybody have any questions about it? I mean, we just talked about it yesterday. I'll make a motion that we give everybody across the board a 4.4%.
I will second.
With the
With the
exception.
agreement that we get one more year from the union on the contract.
yes, and all the currently scheduled raises are pushed back a year. As long as they sign this
And the
memorandum,
currently scheduled.
as long as they sign this memorandum, vote to sign this memorandum of understanding to go into effect January 1.
And if they for some reason choose not to, then we still give the executive staff, no?
We'll have to go back to drawing board.
Okay, so there we go.
So we can take the phone, everything. Rick just described. First or second?
I second.
Oh, sorry.
Samantha did.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is any discussion, any more discussion? Seeing none, it is a voice vote. Mr. Allison?
Aye.
West?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Ms. Carl?
Aye.
Here?
Aye.
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 Ms. Carson?
Aye.
Aye.
safety pins.
You will have made about 40 people very happy.
Oh, that's what we seek to do for DPO, right?
So there's no
Dedication.
We're
Yes,
done.
absolutely.
Oh, is there, I don't think there's anything else for finance and properties committee. I think we're done.
Sounds good. We'll move down into C, which is the foundation. There's no report. Is there anything to say about that?
I will add real quickly, we've got an $8,000 donation from Susan Marshall for, the foundation did for, to install a hearing aid loop in the Madden Auditorium. Hearing aid loops are wires that go in baseboards that if you've got a hearing aid with the correct software downloaded to it, actually really greatly improves your ability to hear. And they're
That's awesome.
supposedly like magic, and Madden, has a lot of programs that appeal to seniors in it, so I think it's a great thing. And we received and the foundation received a $15,000 check from the Andreas Foundation in support of the year-long reading challenge for the 150th anniversary.
Excellent.
So,
Nice. There we go.
Beautiful. We'll move down into the Friends of the Library. We may pay a visit this afternoon.
not a whole lot to report because we were only there a few minutes.
Though I'll admit, this is
They had a
my,
volunteer luncheon, like
Right.
where the Friends volunteers.
And Tony
and
will
Tony
have
did Tribune.
he will have a weekly Tribune column about Friends of the Library. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
here.
Which is pretty cool. That's what we heard.
It was a
Alyssa
very
gave
nice meeting, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alyssa gave all of her requests.
5 requests.
That was a lot of requests, mostly for teens. So
Everybody was friendly. That's remarkable.
they've been
I mean,
friendly.
they had they had a rough patch. I mean, I
Yes.
think they would be the
They were
first to
rough
admit
on
that, but
those,
they've made some changes and it's working really well.
I read this article this week in the New York Times about, it was just showcasing some very beautiful home libraries, some were practical, some weren't. And I read the comment section, which was hilarious. It went between, love my library, and please don't have a library, take out books from the library. But the people who love the library, they're like, yeah, when we read, we go straight to the friends of the library to give our books. So the whole comment section was all about public libraries. It was hilarious.
Speaking of friends, I know we just talked about this yesterday, but they owe us money.
Yeah, I talked to Sean, their treasurer today, and she was writing a check for $13,000.
Oh yeah, that was one. We did hear that.
which means we see more financial investigatory work to do internal as to where we can find money to fix our budget.
And I do have a brief comment on the next item too.
Please do.
So the IHLS, the newest member of the IHLS Board of Trustees is Samantha Carroll.
For 6 months.
Effective in January.
Yeah.
Beginning in January.
6 months.
It's so, like, it's a, like,
Their
I'm
fiscal
filling,
year is different than ours.
well, but I'm filling a seat, so, and it's a
Got
big theme,
got
so that's why there was an opening right
Very
away.
good.
And then there's an election, so in April, or, I don't know, you have to like
remember
apply
what
in
it is.
February or,
Okay.
Do they meet in person or virtually?
it's virtually, so it'll be here,
Yeah, we gotta get that figured out.
I know,
So we're working on
we
it.
will figure it out.
We appreciate your service. Super patient times. All right, I'll move down into old
She's a
business.
state super patron.
Yeah. Replace her with Captain I replaced Captain with but whatever. Old business, there's nothing there unless something to bring up from the bottom. We'll move down into new business, same situation. And seeing that, I will be happy to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So the first,
Blake will second.
and the second. Between the two.
5:35.
Discussion. All in favor?